Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. Today I welcome you to the third part of my 15 in 2015 segment where I show you some of the books I might or might not read in 2015, and this one is dedicated to steampunk. So let's get started. First off, we have The Half-Made World by Felix Gilman. This is a very interesting book playing in a secondary world, and we have like two rivaling factions who are both not really good for mankind. On the one hand, we have the Line, which is a faction going for the Industrial Revolution and the enslavement of people, and on the other hand we have the Gun, a more like terrorizing the world by fear kind of cult. That doesn't sound very appealing, neither of them. So there was in the past like the Red Republic, which is a myth nowadays, and they were told to be, or not told to be, it was said that they almost defeated the Line and the Gun, but then yeah, they went somewhere into legend territory. And a bit as in our world, there comes change into the conflict when a new continent is discovered in the West, and a doctor goes there into a mental facility that is spiritually protected or something, and there he finds an old general of this Red Republic. So that sounds really weird on the one hand, but intriguing on the other hand. So I'm very eager to find out where this series is actually headed and what it's all about. Next up we have God Save the Queen by Kate Locke. That is a very interesting approach to steampunk because it's a modern day steampunk set in our world in 2012, but with some steampunky twists. For example, we have supernatural beings in our world, and Queen Victoria is still ruling because I think she's a vampire, and vampires are kind of nobility in Britain, and therefore the whole like steampunk world of Queen Victoria never ceased to exist. And now we get like having a modern day steampunk world, and that basically sounds very intriguing. Next up we have Phoenix Rising by Philippa Ballantine and T. Morris. The first in the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences series. And this is a series where we have like a typical, I would say, sword and sorcery setup with a female action heroine accompanied by a male, more of a librarian and brainy type, and they are investigators for the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences, and they're investigating some mysterious cases in a Victorian London filled with steampunk. Next up we have the Buntline Special by Mike Resnick, the first in the Weird West tales. I'm very intrigued by this. I've recently discovered the Golgotha books by R.S. Belcher, and I really love this Weird West scenario, so I'm very interested to read more in this Weird West world. And Mike Resnick is an author that actually won the Hugo 5 times, so he's a very established science fiction author, and yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what he is able to do with the steampunk scenario. The book is set in the town of Tombstone, and I don't know more about it, but maybe there will be like appearances like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday or something. I'm not sure. I'm eager to find out. A book that is sometimes referred to as steampunk, but often also as new weird, is Predito Street Station by China Miéville. And China Miéville, of course, is a very popular author. He seems to have a very unique and imaginative writing style, and it was just something I really wanted to try out and see what the whole fuss about China Miéville and his writing is all about. And Predito Street Station is the first in a loose series, when I understand it correctly, the new Crobuzon series, but the books can be read as standalone as far as I understand it. So yeah, we will look into that. Next up we have The Unnatural List by Tiffany Tran. This book seems to be more on the YA romancy side. I'm not quite sure. We follow Vesper. Vesper is working in her father's museum and is kind of investigating the unnaturals, which are some kind of creatures, I'm not sure. And someone else who's also interested in this unnatural is our male protagonist, Cyrus Reed Tinker, and the fate of his family seems to be tied to the unnaturals. And so of course the two will meet up and maybe make out, I don't know. Yeah, investigate the whole unnatural thing, and that seemed to be interesting. I'm really interested in this whole unnatural thing. I liked the cover and was drawn into that, and yeah, let's see how this one will play out. Next up we have Stormdancer by J. Christoph. This is a mix-up of steampunk and Japanese mythology. It's a secondary world setting, so it is only influenced by Japanese mythology, and we're following Yukiko of the Fox clan, and Yukiko is a young girl and fighter, and she gets, I think, into contact with a griffin, and the griffins are called like thunder tigers or something like that in this society, and she and this griffin will form some kind of bond. And yeah, the whole setup with the combination of steampunk and Japanese mythology was really intriguing for me. I studied Japanese culture, so I'm always interested in that, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to start this series. Next up we have The Friday Society by Adrian Kress. This is a, I think, murder mystery where we have three heroines that meet up at a ball and then, yeah, become like their own little group of heroes. And we have Cora, who's a lab assistant. We have Michiko, who's a Japanese fighting assistant, whatever that means. And we have Nelly, a magician's assistant. So that will be quite interesting. I really like that we have like three female characters who going to figure out this murder mystery, and yeah, that seemed very, very interesting. Next up we have Gideon Smith and the Mechanical Girl by David Barnett. It's the first in the Gideon Smith series. Gideon Smith is, I think, a young boy or a young man, and he's very influenced by romantic tales about a Captain Lucian Trigger. Loose Trigger? Anyone? I don't know. And when his father goes missing, Gideon thinks he needs to seek out Lucian and yeah, make him help to find his father. And on the way he meets a mysterious mechanical girl called Myra, and yeah, they are now seeking out this Captain Lucian Trigger and try to find Gideon's father. And yeah, that seemed really, really interesting. I loved the cover again. That was something that really drew me in, and I read some good reviews of the book, so I'm interested to start with it. Next up we have a book I'm really looking forward to read for quite a while now. It's The Anubis Gates by Tim Powers. It's one of the staples of steampunk literature, and it's a time travel story. So we have an assistant who is like a tour guide for time travelers, and then he gets stuck in Regency London and the portals of time are about to close, and he has to find out what this is all about and of course try to get back to his own time. Yeah, and as I said, this is one of the staples of modern steampunk literature, and I haven't read it yet, so I really want to do this. Next up we have The Glass Books of the Dream Eaters by Gordon Dahlquist. It's the first in the Miss Temple, Dr. Swenson and Cardinal Cheng series. And yeah, if you look at the weird title and the mysterious cover, that was what actually drew me in. I can't even begin to describe what the story is all about. I think it's a kind of mystery thriller that mostly plays on board of a train with great characters. I read a lot of positive reviews about the book, but I still cannot really put my finger on what it is really all about. If you go on the Goodreads page, it has like this huge kind of explanation of the plot or something. Yeah, but it really sounds intriguing and had good reviews, so I'm really eager to get into it. Next up we have Romulus Buckle and the City of Founders by Richard Ellis Preston Jr. It's the first in the Chronicles of the Pneumatic Zeppelin series, and it seems to be like a straight up action adventure about this captain of a Zeppelin, and yeah, he has many adventures. And in this first tale he is set out to Southern California, or former Southern California, where there's some kind of fortress which is the aforementioned City of Founders. So I'm really interested. That seems to be like a light and fun read, and yeah, you can never have enough of those. Next up we have Dr. Glass by Thomas Brennan. That one is, I think, a murder mystery, as it often happens to be with steampunk literature, but what really drew me in was one of the world building aspects, because in this world they have built a transatlantic bridge. So there is a bridge that spans the Atlantic from Liverpool to New York, and that seems, wow, like highly interesting and intriguing, and I think the murder mystery occurs on that bridge or under that bridge, so this world building element will play a large role in the book. Yeah, and I'm really interested to read about this kind of unique world building approach. Next up we have A Red Sun Also Rises, and I'm going to read you the synopsis because it's so bizarre. I wasn't really able to put it into a really good description. So here it goes. A tale of good and evil when neither is what it seems. Aidan Fleischer, a bookish priest, finds himself transported to an alien world. With him is Miss Clarissa Stark, a crippled hunchback of exceptional ability, wronged by an aristocrat, and cast out from society. On the planet Petalia, under two bright yellow suns, they encounter the Yatzil, a race of enthusiastic mimics who shape their society after impressions picked up from Clarissa's mind. Creating a Forks London, the alien creatures enroll Clarissa in their council of magicians and Aidan in the city guard. But why does the peaceful city require guards? After a day that, in earthly terms, has lasted for months, the answer comes, for on this planet without a night, a red sun also rises, and brings with it destructive evil. The Blood Gods, hideous creatures, they cause Aidan to confront his own internal darkness while trying to protect his friend and his new home. wow, that is bizarre. Mimic creatures, a world where the day lasts forever without night, a red sun. That is, yeah, that was so bizarre. And then the description of the characters: a female protagonist with a disability but who's highly capable. And then also it's written by Mark Hodder, and Mark Hodder is the author of the Burton and Swinburne investigation series, and I've read the first book of this, The Strange Affair of Spring Heel Jack, this year, and it's one of my top 4 reads this year. And yeah, so I'm really intrigued by this. I think everything Mark Hodder will do will be somehow good and exceptional, and that seems just like, yeah, wow, unique. And last but not least, we have Planesrunner by Ian MacDonald, the first in his Avernus series. This is, I think, also a YA-ish series with a young protagonist, Everett Singh, and Everett's father, I think, goes missing. And but he's not only going missing in our world, but I think in a multiverse world, because he developed the ability to go through different universes, and now Everett has to go through different universes as well, and on the look for his father, I think. And there are 3 books out in the series so far. I don't know if it's only a trilogy or if there will be even more, and I think each one visits at least one other world or universe, and yeah, that sounds just really interesting and intriguing. So these were 15 steampunk books I might pick up next year. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel. If you want to know what's coming up on my channel, look inside the description box. There's a little segment there called On the Horizon. I wish you a good day and hope you get bitten by a really good book too. Bye.